In 1979, the Texas Law Review published a detailed theory regarding the political rights of children. The paper, written by John H. Garvey, argued that minors possess limited moral and political rights compared to those granted to adults. Garvey's reasoning was based on the idea that minors lack developed skills for rational discourse. This gap makes them vulnerable to the effects of provocative speech, which Garvey argued poses a risk of disruption adults are better equipped to avoid. This theory provides a legal justification for parental control. It frames protective barriers not as a restriction of rights, but as a necessity to shield a child's public identity while developing capacity for autonomy. Few children in modern history have inhabited a bubble as reinforced as the one built around Barron Trump. Moving into the White House brought an intense level of scrutiny that tested the absolute limits of parental protection. He was the first president's son to reside in the White House since John F. Kennedy Jr., a position that carried heavy historical weight and constant public curiosity. Melania Trump responded with intense protective measures. She delayed their move to Washington by 6 months after the 2016 election and issued public statements confirming that her son had no social media presence. His world was defined by controlled spaces. He attended private institutions like St. Andrew's Episcopal School and Oxbridge Academy, navigating his education behind a continuous wall of Secret Service protection. This absence of a verified public footprint left a gap for others to fill. Because the real Barron was hidden, the internet tried to invent him, culminating in a federal case where a Pennsylvania man was indicted for fraud after impersonating Trump's relatives to solicit donations. But no protective bubble can withstand the reach of legal adulthood. Eventually, the barriers designed to shield the child must fall, revealing the adult who has been growing behind them. By 2024, the Republican campaign was focused on a specific goal: capturing the attention of young men who were increasingly disconnected from traditional news and legacy media. Barron Trump took his first autonomous public step during this cycle, serving as a strategic advisor for his father's media appearances. Rather than suggesting safe, mainstream interviews, he directed his father toward the Manosphere, a digital network of streamers and influencers built on the very kind of disruptive and provocative speech his childhood barriers were meant to block. He suggested high-impact appearances on programs like The Joe Rogan Experience, allowing his father to speak directly to millions of young listeners in a raw, long-form format. Barron intentionally embraced the disruption of the internet as his primary tool for political influence, trading his private education for a public platform. His autonomy extended into the most unregulated corners of the internet, reaching far beyond the standard playbook of campaign strategists. This involved direct interactions with internet personality Andrew Tate, a figure synonymous with the most extreme and controversial segments of the Manosphere. The connection was more than superficial. Barron discussed Duth's legal cases in Romania with his associates, expressing an interest in Tate's claims that his arrest for sex trafficking and rape was an attempt to silence his voice. This alignment signaled a departure from the dynamic of his youth. He exchanged the government-funded shielding of his adolescence for a direct alliance with the internet's most prominent digital provocateurs. Following the 2024 election, polling data indicated a significant shift in the youth vote, with young men moving toward the Republican ticket in numbers not seen in previous cycles. This demographic movement validated the influencer-led outreach Barron had championed, turning his first autonomous political act into a measurable success. This strategic victory placed him at the center of the 2024 victory speech and the 2025 inauguration, marking his official debut on the national stage. The ceremony functioned as a public debut for an autonomous power player. He entered the second term as a strategic contributor acknowledged for his role in the victory. Barron soon moved to NYU's Washington campus, physically transitioning away from the family's central hub in New York to establish a base just a mile from the White House. From this position, he expanded into business, taking roles as a DeFi visionary for World Liberty Financial and director for a yerba mate company. His cryptocurrency role was designed to provide foundational business experience while acting as a deterrent to the volatility of meme coins. Returning to Garvey's text, Barron Trump's arc demonstrates a unique path to maturity. By stepping out of the protective bubble and mastering the very disruption he was hidden from, he didn't just grow up, he engineered a massive and highly autonomous identity.